Hola, hola, and welcome to the Juiciest interview from Aha. We are here today with a very special guest from the land down under, Mia Wray. Hi, Mia. It's very nice to meet you. And it's kind of ironic to say that because your upcoming album is called Hi, it's nice to meet me.
Yes, it is. That's so cute.
So, what can you tell me about this album that's upcoming?
It's basically like it's a self-discovery album, I guess, like more universally, and then getting into the niche parts of it. It was pretty much like I was with my ex for like 7 years, and then I always had this like thing that was like buried very deep down. I kind of knew about, but I just like pushed it so far down that I just kind of like forgot that it was there until I met this girl, and then 2 weeks later I was going to London for a writing trip for like a month, and I just couldn't stop thinking about her and like also like what she represented for me. And then I just wrote all of these songs about her, and I came back home and I broke up with my boyfriend, and I was just like, I need to figure this out. And it was just like the most turbulent time, but yeah, got some nice songs out of it. And I think it just like was so obviously an album to me. So yeah.
It must be quite a girl if you
Yes.
if she changed. Can I ask? Does she know that this like inspired her? Like
She does. Yeah,
Oh.
she does. Yeah.
That's the spicy.
Hey, it's juicy here.
Can I ask how she reacted to it?
She didn't really like. I think she didn't really like believe it. I think she was like, "What do you mean you wrote a whole album about me?" Like fully just didn't like it. It took like a really long time for her to be like, shit, all right. Which, like, honestly, like if someone said I've written not a whole album, but like a good like 5 or 6 songs about them and what that's based off, like I met her, we had a total of maybe like 2 conversations. Wow. So it was more kind of like I wrote about the idea of her. So like she kind of, I think that was like a little less intense because like I knew nothing about her, but it was just kind of like almost like, like the feeling was just like so intense.
Yeah. Well, to
that
use one of your songs, like the "What If" we go for it. Yeah, I would also have a hard time processing that.
Yeah, because all I could think about was all of the bad things that might happen if I tell her or if I go down this path. But then, one of the writing sessions I did was just like, what if all of these really amazing things happen, and maybe you should explore it. And then I thought that was nice too.
In the album cover, you're hugging yourself, but from behind, and the person you're hugging has a slightly different hair color. Can I ask if before, like, if you ever had a different hair color?
Yeah, I used to have brown hair.
Okay.
So like my hair color is your so I'm like I was trying to represent like me hugging my past self, being like, it's gonna be okay kind of thing. The red is just supposed to like be just a representation of like me just kind of exploring what is authentic to me, and still like constantly doing that all the time, but I just thought that was like a nice way to like try and visually represent what it felt like. Yeah.
So if we get a new album, we might get different hair color again.
I know. I actually want to go back to brown though. It's like it's cute, but I've had it for like 2 years now, and I'm ready to change. But I'm gonna need to have this for this whole album cycle now. So next album I'll go back to natural.
Next album, but it suits you quite well, if I must say. So I wanted to ask how it was when you were writing it, how it was to like confront yourself maybe with these feelings and confront maybe others.
I think what helped is that like when I was in this time, I was writing with a lot of strangers. So I was like, I had a lot of co-write sessions set up for me with people I'd never met before. So maybe I found some comfort in like confiding in people who have never met me before, don't know my situation, don't know my partner, like my ex-partner, and like, you know, that. So that was a bit freeing. But like, it was a very, very vulnerable time that I was having with these strangers, like just telling them everything. And like, you know, some of my best friends back home had no idea what was going on, but I just was confiding in these people, and it was definitely, really scary, but I just honestly couldn't think of anything else. And it was kind of therapeutic to be able to write about it, to figure out what I was feeling.
You have one song, Fake a Smile.
And I waited all my life for a stage to speak my mind.
Do you feel like finally, for the first time, you're really able to speak everything authentically on the
I
stage?
think like growing up in a pretty conservative small town, I think I've always kind of prided myself on being really authentic and honest with an audience. And I think I just called myself out on my own bullshit when I was like, well, I'm not being fully honest here. I've worked too hard in music to get to this point and have these opportunities to not like follow through on how I believe I should be as an artist. And so it does feel very satisfying and vulnerable and, you know, scary, but also like I think it's a good thing to just tell the truth. And I think other people find like comfort in that.
Speaking a bit of the collaborations you got to do to songwrite, you got to talk to your idol, Gabrielle Aplin. So how is it to meet this person that you have adored and suddenly get to write a song with them?
That's still weird. It's so weird. Yeah, I'd been listening to her stuff since I was like 14, and I would always confide in her music when I was going through like a bad time or, you know, whatever. And then all of a sudden for her to want to jump in on a session, because it was with these two other writers who work with Gabby all the time. And I found out maybe like a couple of days before or a day before that she was wanting to jump in on the session.
Yeah.
And I just thought, like, I didn't want to jinx it or anything. So I just kind of like was crying a lot, but just trying to like ground myself.
Go for it.
And I wrote like a journal on like all of like the behind the scenes, like what I was feeling, what was going through my head, like before she like showed up to the studio, to being like, just play it cool, play it cool, play it cool. And like to eventually just be able to confide in her personally and not her music about this situation as well was just like a total full circle moment. She, you know, they say never meet your heroes, but like I'm so happy I met her. And that was the song we wrote Tell Her together, also with Ash House and Seton Dawn. And we have I ended up coming back to London a year later and we wrote another song together. Yeah. So, and we went out for dinner after, and it was like, it was crazy. So crazy.
Casual dinner with your idol.
I know, literally. I can't jinx it anymore. I don't want to push it. I'm just
but that's really incredible.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about someone else you got to write with. You got to write kind of last minute with G Flip. So how was it writing with them?
Yeah, that was good. That was like over the Christmas holidays when like everyone is supposed to be resting and they just never rest. Their work ethic is just non-stop, which I think is like an issue and needs to like, they need to just fucking chill. But I guess that's why they are where they are, because they work so hard. But they reached out and like, of course I said yes, and I told them like the whole backstory, what had happened, because the last time I saw G, we played an awards thing together, and I think they like were like, I think you're not straight, but I'm gonna
The radar went off.
Yeah, the radar was like going ding 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 ding, and I think they were just kind of like, I'm just gonna let her figure that out for herself instead of me like swooping in and being like, dude, break up with your boyfriend. But yeah, so I told them the whole thing, and then I told them what the name of the album was going to be, and they were just like, it sounds like we need to write a song that is nice to meet
That's
me.
incredible.
Yeah. So that's where that came from. Yeah.
I stumbled upon your journal entries that you have kind of telling the stories behind the songs. I had fun reading the one for The Way She Moved.
The way she moves.
So,
It was like, that's basically like, when I met this girl, I felt like a teenager again. Like, you know, when you have like a really intense crush, and I felt like giddy, and I felt like 15 again kind of thing. And I'm like, you know, I'm like 30 this year. So I think it kind of represents that time in your life where maybe you've just broken up with your partner and you feel free, and like your girlfriends are like, yeah, like let's go out, and like it's something that you wouldn't usually do, and it's something that is like out of my comfort zone. Like even this song, like it's out of my comfort zone. It's not something I would ever do, but I think that's why it made sense to do something like that, because it plays an important part in the process of, you know, breaking up with someone that you've been with forever and you don't even know yourself anymore, and then all of a sudden you're single and everything is out of your comfort zone. So it's just like, yeah, it made sense.
no, and you need like a little pick-me-up to go out with your girls.
It's like the rebound era.
The
It's like
rebound
when you're
era.
like just allowed to flirt with people, and that's okay because you haven't done that in so long, and so that makes you feel very like young.
Are you good at flirting?
No. Oh my god. Oh my god, no. I remember downloading Hinge for the first time and being like selecting like just girls, and I was like, oh my god, like I do not know how to flirt with men, let alone flirting with women is probably like even more terrifying. But yeah, I was really like, tee, like what am I doing? Like this is crazy. No, not good at flirting at all.
Something else I found out through these blogs is that you inspired a song through The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Great book, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone. So I just want to ask if, I think they're making a movie.
Yes.
So would you like a song of yours on their soundtrack?
Yes. Yeah, the song Not Enough is a song that I brought to Pip Norman and Rob Amoroso, and I was like, I've just read this book, and like at this stage I was still like closeted. And I was like, this is so interesting to me, and for some reason I really connect with it. And I just tried to convince myself that the song was about this book and not about me, but the more we started writing, I was like, fuck, this is about me.
Yeah, because you haven't had 7 husbands, I'm guessing.
No, I haven't had 7 husbands. But I was going down that route. Like, I was like, if I didn't just, listen to myself,
But during these entries, I also found out you're a big Harry Potter child.
Yeah.
So
oh my God, where was that?
it's buried in there. I think at some point you were like, I don't club. I like to sit at home.
Oh, yeah. No, totally. Yeah.
So what's your Harry Potter house?
I think I'm Gryffindor. I think I want to be Hufflepuff, but I think I'm Gryffindor.
With the red hair?
Yeah, I'm a Weasley.
You can't deny who you are.
I'm in my Weasley era. Have you played the Hogwarts Legacy?
Yeah,
I'm obsessed.
it's incredible.
It's so good. Yeah, I love it. So
Are you like
obsessed.
far down the game?
Oh, I've like played it like 3 times.
Wow.
I got so obsessed to the point where like I one time accidentally left the because I play on like a Switch. I left it on an airplane, and I went back to the baggage place to be like, hi, like I left this thing.
Yeah.
And then I got like 5 steps away from the desk, and I was like, you know what? I think I just need to let it go. I've fully lost myself in this. My whole life has become this, and I don't write songs anymore. Like I'm just so obsessed and addicted. So I was like, some child can give it away after how many months that before they just give stuff away at Lost and Found. I'll buy a Switch again, but when I've like really earned it.
Yeah.
Like when I've like maybe
Completed
done more
tour.
things. Yeah. Otherwise I become disgusting. I stop showering, I stop brushing my teeth, I just eat like garbage, and I'm just like a mongrel.
Like gremlin.
I'm a gremlin. It's so bad.
Oh wow.
I'm just like a little dirty teenage boy. And I'm just like, it's so good. I love it. I love it.
You did say you reverted back to like your 15-year-old self. So
Well,
you just
here we are. That's also a big part of 15-year-old Mia.
It's like you have Mia Ray's Nintendo Switch.
You got my Zelda. You got my Animal Crossing.
They got it good.
They got a good deal.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you about stereotypes that people have about Australia that are just wrong.
When I was 10, I lived in England for a year with my family, and all the kids at school thought that I rode a kangaroo to school. And actually let them believe it. I let them believe it for a while. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I do. But yeah, I think like people think that there are a lot of, and like the thing is that yeah, there are, but just like have common sense and like just like if you see something dangerous, don't be like, oh, what's that? I'm gonna poke it. Like, you know what I mean? Like just have some common sense. But no, Australia is beautiful and it's safe, and just like don't be a dickhead. Do you know what I mean? Like
Don't
like
touch animals.
yeah. But yeah, like there was a place I lived in, Warrandyte, which is like more kind of out in the bush, and like every morning when I would wake up, there would be like 5 kangaroos just like lounging on the grass, which is very stereotypical
Very
Australia, but that's not like, we just have cities like everybody else, like on the coastline and stuff, and then like the real Australia is in like the heart of it, and you know that's where you need to have a bit of knowledge about what the environment is and things to not do and
kangaroo safety. How about Vegemite? What are your
so
thoughts?
good. I think if you grow up on it, you love it. I think if you haven't and you taste it, you don't understand.
Okay.
But it needs to be, the ratio of Vegemite and butter needs to be
It's the butter.
a certain way. Yeah.
Because we are a Latin-run platform, we always try to see if there's any Spanish language songs that you know or you listened to recently.
Okay. J Balvin?
Oh, J Balvin is Latin.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, he's like, I saw him at Splendor in the Grass, which is like a festival we have at home. And it was like the best set of the whole festival. Me and my sisters were there and their partners, and like we just had the best time, and ever since then I've been so obsessed with J Balvin. So there you go, that's my answer. And like before I even knew it was him, he like walked past me backstage and I was like, that is somebody, I don't know who it is, but they have an energy. And then I saw him on stage and I was like,
I should have talked to him. I will let you go because now you have to go on stage and do your thing. But thank you so much for joining us, and it was great to meet you.